Yeah, so as I said, crazy week. That just adds to the craziness. Floods
Yeah.
and hurricanes and everything. And yeah, but what I was referring to in terms of the wrestling aspect of things was the Roman Reigns John Cena promo from Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, it seems to be all the rage
The
here
hoopla.
the last couple days, huh?
Yeah. I love when you go into like a 1950s circus barker.
Yeah.
Like you really are still in the, what was it, Moonbeam McGee? What was your Moon
Oh, Edge.
Puncher?
Oh, you want to hear my circus barking? Arr, arr, arr.
Actually, you don't actually bark.
Oh,
You're not a dog.
maybe it was a circus barker in a former life.
What was his name though? Moon Punch Lunchbox. What was Moon Punch Lunchbox? Right?
No, it was Lenny Stoker,
Oh,
but
okay.
I
That's
dubbed him
close.
I dubbed him myself Lunchbox Lenny Stoker.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah,
right. I knew there
I
was
gave,
something with a box
yeah, I gave
and
myself
lunch.
a nickname. Yeah,
So,
so I
okay.
do it. So I get into character.
So, what's your take on it, Bird?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was cool.
But I
I think it
sense
was
some apprehension from the feathered one.
no. I mean, I like them. I mean, but I like them to feel like organic in a sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's not scripted, and I did feel like, um, and I don't think they're types of promos that should be done a lot. You know
No,
what I mean?
agreed, agreed.
And I think that this is kind of the right time for something like this to happen.
Yeah.
And and they addressed a lot of the things, and sometimes when things are addressed that are on the internet or out there, in the dirt sheets, brother, that sometimes they just will ignore it or not pay any attention to it or whatever,
Yeah.
which is what you have to do most times. But sometimes it's good to do something like that, to be like, whoa, hold on a second. They're addressing all the things that people say about them or think about them or people think that are legit facts
Yeah.
about certain situations. And, they threw it back and forth at each other and turned it into a real situation. I think that it was kind of something that can help a feud like that, right? Because these guys are both kind of in the same boat and they get kind of similar reactions. So it'll be interesting, and I think it added maybe a little bit more of a personal edge to if they're going to have a match or a feud or how long it's going to go. But it gave a little bit more something personal to it rather than just like, hey, we're two guys. I want your spot. You're leaving. You keep coming back. I want your spot, kind of thing.
Well, I think it's all the things that people assume they think about each other.
Right.
And now it was just validated like, that really does happen. So
Yeah.
here's where I got to start. Why No Mercy?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Well, why? There's got to
Yeah.
be something going on there because you don't do this. That's a WrestleMania match. And it goes back to my Brock Lesnar Samoa Joe. Imagine you put Brock Lesnar Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns John Cena on WrestleMania. Sold.
Right. Yeah. Or even
Sold. And
then you
and
can't-
hold on, because I'm Great Balls of Fired up about it, man. You put it on Great Balls of Fire and you put it on No Mercy. Come on. Like, what?
Well, I'm about to put my great balls of fire on your chin right now. 'Cause even if
You gonna burn my beard off?
because even if you can't get it that far, right? If you have to do this at this point, is there any way you can at least get it to Survivor Series? You know what I mean?
But you don't have to. There was absolutely no reason to have to. They each have all kinds of opponents. It's fine. It's good. You didn't have to. That's the thing I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
There's loads of people that you could have got through and started those around Royal Rumble season. And
Yeah. I mean,
nobody would have touched each other, and you have two fresh matches that haven't happened that people want to see and want to talk about. That's my take on that. Now, the promo itself, here's what I thought it did. John's been in that situation before.
Yeah.
Whether it's with, The Rock, he's had to deal with that before, and he's good at it.
Mm-hmm.
Reigns hasn't, and you could tell. You can tell this was his first kind of like, oh, okay, how exactly do I do this? But I will say it's the best promo I've ever seen him do because you could tell he really felt what he was saying. Now, I think with more practice, more tune-up, he's got it because he had a lot more points he could have hit about John that he didn't.
And I'll tell you,
I mean, he could have speed bagged John with some of the stuff that he could say, and he didn't go there.
Well, maybe they're still going to go there, but also
maybe.
Another point too, where I found like kind of a shift in his was where it seemingly he ran out of words to say.
Yes,
and John called him on it.
Yeah,
and said, this is the reason why I have to come back because you're not ready, basically, to do this. And you know what I mean? If you're going to be in the spot, you have to be able to do this. And he called him on it on live television, and you could see Roman, like almost the steam coming out of his ears, and it kind of, I think that almost even took him to, another level. And and I've been there and gone blank on live TV, and it's not a fun feeling, and it does something to you,
Huh, I never have. It's funny.
No.
Oh, what? No, but honestly, I think that was a hard way to practice, but I think that is a good learning lesson for Reigns.
Sure.
I feel weird calling him Roman. I don't know why, but I think that's where he needs to get to on all his promos.
Right.
And that's how I always looked at things. If you get to a certain place and oh, okay, that was the pocket I need to get to in order for a promo to feel authentic, genuine, fired up, that's when people believe. And if you can get there for every promo and find that space and whatever that trigger that you need to get you there, that's where you got to get to every promo. And not every promo needs to be angry and yelling and all of these things, but he needs to find that place for his promos. And if he can find that place for all his promos, man, if his promos catch up to his work and his look, now he is ready to take over, and John can, go to the Today Show or whatever it is. You know?
And here's the thing too, and I'm not saying anything that I don't think people don't already know or kind of have some sort of understanding of, but for somebody to truly get over, and I mean in a sense of not only crowd reactions, but people paying to see you, drawing that type of over, you have to, like I said, you can have all the in-ring backing that you can get, but if it can't come out of your mouth and get to the crowd for them to have that attachment to you as well in a verbal sense, you have like you can't go out there and be
stuttering like you are right now.
What's that?
Stuttering like you are right now.
No, I'm just trying to find the right words to say, but you can't go out there and you can't rely on somebody else's words, right? Like somebody can't hand you a sheet of paper and say, "Hey, go out there and read this because you're gonna get over with what's said on here." You almost take the bullet points of it and have the gumption, the initiative, the like you said, to kind of make it your own, take bullet points, whatever it is, the gist of it, and go out there. And sometimes too, and I'm not saying this is happening to him, but I have seen it happen to people when I was there where they just kind of get complacent where, okay, they're just going to hand me a piece of paper. It's easy. I'll read it and move on. You got it. You have to.
I also think that's what they've been taught. I think that's kind of become the nature now. Yeah. And, I remember for instance, it was like 5 to 9 as we're about to go live for Raw. It was a newer writer. He came up, he hands me 5 sheets of paper. I was like, what's this? He goes, oh, this is your promo. I was like, oh, it's not. Yeah. What 5 things do you want to get across here? And so I was like, okay, all right, I got to fill in the rest because I'm standing out there and you want me to fill 10 minutes and you're giving me 5 sheets of script before I go. Not going to happen. Yeah. You got to be able to do that. You got to be able to think on your feet, know what you're trying to get across, and go from there. But I thought, like I said, that was the best impassioned kind of promo that I've seen out of him, and it was a very tough situation to have to do it. And sure, there was some awkward moments for him, but I feel like he stepped up. I really do, because I was like, okay, that's where this kid needs to get to.
But it was supposed to be awkward, right? I mean, that's the feeling that people were supposed to have coming away from it. It was supposed to have people talking, and that's what it's about. Whether it was awkward, whether he, got confused in his head and didn't have the right words to respond to John to, or whatever. That was a great moment.
Well, and you could tell a couple of those moments got to John too. I know John's reaction when things get to him. That got to him a little bit, but it was good. It's WrestleMania. I don't know why it's happening at No Mercy. There's got to be something scheduling wise as to why it's not. Otherwise, WTF, as the kids say these days, Bird.
Yeah, and I think
WTF.
sometimes too that there's something to be said for if something happens out there like what John did with the situation where he said, hey, I know you don't have anything to say right now, so don't worry, I'll just wait right here for you. I'll just wait. I'm not going anywhere. I'll wait for you. Like, I mean, sometimes you have to. Things happen out there that aren't necessarily a bullet point or on a piece of paper, and you have to take advantage of those. And you can't be afraid to take advantage of those, right?
Yeah, got to pounce. But I still don't know why it's at no mercy, brother. I'm so. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on. All right. Anyway, I'll get off of my high horse now on that, and I won't be what I call it, an armchair arm dragger.
Man. Yeah. It's funny because it kind of reminded me of another story too when you said that a writer came up and handed you a piece of paper. Because that happened to me. I mean, it happened to me.
Five pieces of paper.
Oh,
yeah.
There was this new
5
writer,
minutes before.
and there was a lot of time where there was like a lot of writers in and out of there in a short amount of time.
And again, before you get to your point, this was a new kid, didn't know the way I like to work.
Right.
Just didn't know.
It was the same type of thing with this one where the guy came up and handed me it was like two pages or whatever of a promo, and it was written word for word, and that's not how I like to do it, right? So I'm looking at it, and it was like weirdly written, like just didn't sound like me at all.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, what's this? He goes, well, this is this. And I was like, has anybody seen this? He goes, well, Vince approved it. And I went, okay. And so.
And wait, I know how that works.
Yeah.
Bifocals. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He's got like 1,000 other things going on. It was kind of just given to him the gist of it. And he's like, okay, that's fine, because he's got a million other things going on, right? And
yeah, and if it's the shits, then that writer won't be back in 2 weeks.
Right. So what happened was I took it. I'm like, I can't go out there and say this because it's not good. So I went out and I knocked on Vince's door, and of course he did have a million things going on. I said, I just need 2 minutes of your time. He's like, what's on your mind? And I said, did you approve this promo? He's like, yeah. And he's like, what, do you have a problem with that? I said, yeah. I said, well, it doesn't sound like how I would say it. This is what I feel I should be saying here. And I just hit him with bullet points. I went, doot, 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 doot. And he's like, oh, yeah, that's much better. Say that. I said, okay, thanks. And I walked out. And I had rewritten the bullet points and stuff that I wanted to say. And when I went in there and I showed it to him, he's like, oh, yeah, that's much better. Do that. And then when I walked out, the writer was like, oh, so what happened? I was like, yeah, we changed a couple things. And so I handed it to him. He goes, you changed everything. I was like, yeah. And I hit him with the line. I went, well, that's what Vince wanted. Or Vince approved it. That's what I said. Vince approved it. So
yeah, because that was always the go-to. It's like,
yeah,
this